Hello, hello, and welcome back, or welcome. I am Book Lover Lorna, and today we are going to talk about my least favourite books of 2021. Not, being too negative, but these books just did not float my boat, like, whatsoever. These are books that I gave either 1 or 2 stars to this year. And considering it's the year of 100 books, I think I've done quite well. Like, I've had a good reading year because the amount of books that I've read, there are barely any 1 or 2 star books. I mean, throughout the year, I think I probably DNF'd maybe 2 or 3 books. So I suppose like they would have been on here as well, but I have no idea what they were because I can't remember them. They were not obviously memorable. So these are the books that I did finish and I gave 1 or 2 stars to. Now this is not in the interest of just being a negative Nancy. It's a debatable thing because like I know one of these books some people absolutely love. So it's kind of more a, have you read this book? Do you agree with me or do you disagree with me? I kind of want you guys to disagree with me because I don't want them to be rubbish books. I want them to be good books that just weren't my cup of tea. So, yeah, let me know if you've read any of these books as we go through the video. And let me know if you agree or disagree with me. I know one of them, lots of you are gonna disagree with me on. But anyway, some of these were ebooks. So I don't have physical copies for all of them. So the first one, that was a least favourite book of the year, was Confessions of a Curious Bookseller by Elizabeth Green. Now, that one, I can still remember it quite well, actually. It just ground on me? Grinded? What's the tense of that sentence? I don't know, it just rubbed me up the wrong way. Like, the main character, apologies for, like, by the way, the sun's, like, going in and out today. The main character was just so annoying. Like, she was literally, like, the worst negative Nancy, if we're using that term, ever. She was a bit of an a-hole. She was just rude to everyone. I didn't like reading about her. There was, like, nothing positive and happy about the book. And I understand that sometimes the main character, you can't like her or him, but you need some parts where they're tolerable. This woman, the main character in the story, was intolerable. And it literally made the book intolerable. So, yeah, I didn't like that one. Did not like that one. The next book that I didn't enjoy this year, like, at all, was Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is the one that I know loads of people are going to disagree with me with, but I just didn't gel with this book. The documentary style thing, like, I think it would work so much better as a movie. So, like, maybe I'd enjoy this as a movie. But as a book, this was so dull for me personally. Like the first 100 pages, I had to drag myself through. I mean, after that, I just kind of forced myself to finish it. I just found it really dull. Like the characters, I just didn't find them portrayed very well. Like they weren't exciting or interesting. Like I wasn't intrigued by them. They were just kind of like predictable. Yeah. I actually was so disappointed in this because obviously everyone else loved it and I was like, oh, it's got to be good. And I did not like this at all. So that was quite sad actually. That was kind of my sad dislike of the year, one of them. Like I'm actually unhauling it and taking it off my shelves at the end of this year and it's going to go to charity. That's the level that I disliked this book. Yeah, I can't even, Next book, this pains me to say, Pitch Perfect by Jodi Picoult. So I'm doing a series of rereading Jodi Picoult books. This was the first one that I read and my reread, I gave it 1 star, which is really sad because I love Jodi Picoult, but this is just not her best book. It's one of the first ones that came out. You can tell it's just not good. I think that kind of the parts of the story, my reasoning is the parts of the story that you wanted to see more of were kind of skimmed over, and the parts that you weren't really bothered about just went into so much detail and it didn't need it. Like it wasn't well structured at all. So like I really don't like this book, which is, yeah, that's sad because I love Jodie Peacock, but you can't, when she's got so many books, you just can't love them all. So unfortunately that was one of my very few 1-star reads of this year. That one I'm really quite sad about. I'm quite sad about it. I feel kind of sad doing this video. This is so bad because I just want to love all books and I didn't love all these books. Okay, We Ride Upon Sticks by Quan Barry. I expected and predicted that I would give this book 5 stars. I did not. I gave it 2. If you like a really detailed read, you'd enjoy this. I do not. It was so kind of over-described for unnecessary detail that I felt like I ended up skimming half of it, which was not the idea of reading the book. And then I would miss kind of things that were like vaguely important. So yeah, this was just sad. I thought it was going to be really good, but I think there's so many elements to it, kind of like the witches and the hockey and stuff, that it just didn't flow. It didn't flow. Too over-described and detailed. Now, I think the idea of the story is still like quite good, but it just wasn't executed in the way that I found to be good. Yeah, it's really hard to be positive in this video. I'm not gonna lie to you all. It's really hard. I feel like I'm just be like, yeah, I didn't like it. I did not like it. And that's basically where we're at. I just didn't like these books. So I did say that there are not that many books that I gave 1 or 2 stars to this year, and the total is actually only 6, so we only have 2 more to touch on. So we're not being that negative, you know, it's only 6 books out of, you know, a lot of books. Now, the last 2 were ones that I read for the Comedy Women in Print Prize Award, the Shortlist. Oh no, one was on the shortlist, sorry, and one wasn't. One was on the long list. So Destination Wedding was absolutely awful. It's by Diksha Basu, and I took it out of the library. It was on the shortlist for the Comedy Women in Print Prize Award. Now, I'm just having a little look at my Goodreads, kind of see what I said. This was actually, this is the first book I questioned that was on that list, why it was on that list. Okay, I didn't really see the point of the story, unfortunately. There was a lot of characters and no one really got like a lot of page time in the book, so it was kind of difficult to learn people, scenarios, because there were so many characters and each of them only had like a small bit of limelight, I guess. So I feel like I don't know, I'm kind of, the book could have been improved by putting more of a focus on like specific, I don't know, family members. They're basically all family members, rather than kind of going this far into each of them. We could have gone like this far into a couple and then like the others could have like been background characters, I feel like. It just was so not enjoyable, like so not enjoyable. I literally forced myself to read it, and gave it a big fat 1 star. And the last book is Exciting Times by Nisha Dolan. Now I read this one because it was on the long list and I thought it was going to be on the short list and it wasn't. But I'd already picked it up from the library when the shortlist was announced and the blurb sounded pretty promising, so I was like, oh, I might quite like this one. I didn't. I gave it 2 stars. And it was basically, obviously these books are supposed to be like, they're the Comedy Women in Print Prize Awards, so it's written by women, like comedy books, essentially, like literature books. And it just wasn't funny. Like the sarcasm, it was full of sarcasm, but it was so dry that it felt like bad attitude sarcasm. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just felt like the characters were just being so dry that they were dull human beings. That sounds so savage. Yeah, that's basically how I felt reading it. Like, I just felt like it was so dull and like moody bums. Like, I was gonna swear then. Moody bums, like, basically. they just hadn't, they were so uninteresting. So I didn't like that at all. I did read it in like a day, but that's because I was just kind of powering through, like, let's get this book read. I was in like a long car journey and I was like, let's get this out of the way because this is not fabulous. So yeah, like 6 books. I gave 1 or 2 stars to this year. Like I said, I did DNF, so did not finish, maybe 2 or 3. But to be honest, considering the volume that I've read this year, I think that's really good. So there's not many books that have kind of not impressed me at all. Like, even when I rate books a 3-star, they're kind of like, oh, I appreciate this book. Like, I understand where it's coming from. Like, I get it. But 1 and 2 stars are like, 2 is like, oh, that was painful to read. And 1 is like, wow, like, why did I even pick that up or continue to read it? But I got too far into the book and couldn't give up, because once you get about 50% of the way through, you might as well just blooming finish it, mightn't you? So yeah, 6 books that I didn't really enjoy this year. My least favourite reads of 2021. So yeah, that's basically, that's it really. I hope this hasn't been too negative. I'm interested to know if you guys have read any of these books and what your thoughts are. There are going to be lots of people disagreeing with me with Daisy Jones and the Six, but I'm feeling like not many other people will have read all the others. I know there are some Jodie Peacock fans on my subscribers, so let me know what your thoughts are on Picture Perfect. Like, I still love her books, I just don't think that's one of her good ones. And I mean, with over 20 books, like, there's gonna be a couple dodge ones, surely. And I would say that that's one of them. So yeah. Anyway, I will wrap up this video now. Thank you very much for watching. Happy reading, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.